chance. I mean, I think it's good work. Crawford, I don't think Crawford fight. I'm not Crawford. I don't think Boots fight like Crawford at all. That was just I think the comparisons they was making initially was just as they both were switch hitters and they both could be so naturally. That's really the only thing that they do the same. They don't do anything else the same, literally. So
boxing insiders can hype it all they want, but Ennis training Canelo won't change the story. Crawford isn't just another switch hitter. He's the one others copy. Boots might sharpen Canelo's tools, but when it's Bud across the ring, every so-called edge flips right back into Crawford's hands.
Prepare for Crawford, I will use Boots as a sparring partner. If I was getting prepared for Boots, I would use Crawford as a sparring partner. I think they're not exactly the same. No two people are, but they're very, very similar in styles with the switching, boxer puncher, killer mentality. They got a lot of things similar. So,
and that's why the moment Boots officially links up with Canelo's camp, the debate flips. So what if Ennis joins? Canelo can borrow talent, but Crawford's fight IQ can't be rented. Boots can copy stances, he can mimic styles, but he can't replicate Bud's mind. That's why this advantage crumbles the second Crawford stands across the ring. But Crawford already crushed that narrative in brutal fashion. Sparring with Boots doesn't mean you can solve Bud. Canelo might copy a few pieces, but the whole puzzle, forget it. Styles, IQ, composure, those intangibles belong to Crawford, and they're the one thing Ennis can't hand over in training.
Saw that he brought in Tehran. What was your reaction, like your first initial reaction when you saw that news?
I actually didn't see it. Somebody showed me, and I was just like, so what that mean? He's not me.
Yeah.
You know, as much as a lot of people, you know, say we have similarities and, you know, we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me, you know, and I'm not him, so.
And even trainers like Ben Davison had to face the truth. His angle is flawed. No amount of good sparring dents. Crawford's supremacy. Sure, Boots might sharpen Canelo's tools, but nothing prepares him for Bud's relentless IQ. Ennis can help in camp, but under the lights, it's Crawford dictating every second.
Do you agree with that?
I 100% agree with that. Me personally, I think that Terence Crawford boxes a hell of a lot more in the moment. Phenomenal fighter in the moment. And I think Ennis is a lot more.
Meanwhile, Caleb Plant dropped his own bold prediction, but banking on size is nothing but desperate logic. Crawford's built a career dismantling bigger men with skill, not muscle. And when pace accuracy and strategy collide, Canelo's chances collapse because those are Bud's weapons, mastered far beyond anything size can save.
David, does Bud have a chance against Canelo?
I think he does, bro. I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Bud, his IQ and his experience will definitely help him through. It's just that
That's why the pros keep debating just how high Crawford's ceiling really goes. Dismissing him as just 4T7 shows zero vision. This is the man who unified divisions, crushed champions, and adapted at every level. Weight doesn't define Bud, dominance does. And if he dismantles Canelo, it's not just another win, it's legacy. That's the moment Crawford becomes the fighter every generation measures greatness against.
I don't think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147.
When Crawford locked eyes and said, "See you soon," it wasn't trash talk, it was prophecy. That aura of certainty only comes from breaking men down. Night after night, Canelo can stack his camp with stars, but Crawford's conviction alone shifts the balance before a single punch is thrown.
Well, you gotta watch the fight so you can see.
I'll get a message to Canelo.
See you soon.
But then came the twist, Ennis throwing shade at Crawford for skipping a warm-up fight. That take misses the point completely. Champions don't need tune-ups, they rise straight to the challenge. And Crawford's proved it time and again. He adjusts faster than anyone, no matter the size, no matter the weight, suggesting he needs practice fights, insults the mentality of a man who's conquered every division he's touched. Canelo may look like the powerhouse, but Bud thrives, where others hesitate, taking risks that carve legacies. This isn't about easing in, it's about seizing greatness. and Crawford's daring choice only makes his pursuit of immortality that much clearer.
A Bud Crawford who's nowhere near a William School. School just ran. He didn't try to win that fight. Bud's gonna try to win the fight. He's gonna have the footwork. He's gonna have the hand speed. He's gonna have, the.
Comparing Boots Ennis to Crawford flatters Ennis, but it's misleading. Boots is fast, skilled, versatile, but Crawford, he's the finished masterpiece, sharpened by years of dismantling elite champions. Thinking Ennis can replicate Bud for Canelo is like confusing a sketch for the painting. Sparring Boots might boost Canelo's confidence, but that confidence crumbles the moment he realizes Crawford isn't a training partner, he's a generational genius. Under the lights, Bud will make Canelo's adjustments look slow, predictable, and desperate. That's the danger of overrating sparring. It can't prepare you for the real thing.
Boots is a southpaw and unorthodox. He switches. It's close to Bud's style as well, so I'm not surprised.
And when fighters like Troy Eiley weighed in, the spotlight on Crawford's greatness only grew. Even Eiley couldn't deny the obvious. Crawford has the tools to win. His "I gotta see it" sounds like hesitation, but deep down, everyone knows Bud shines brightest under the light. Canelo may carry the resume in the name, but his flaws are glaring. Stamina dips, predictable combos, plodding feet. Those are weaknesses Crawford feasts on, dismantling opponents piece by piece, adjusting like a chess master mid-battle. Eiley leaning toward Bud shows the tide is already turning, because real boxing minds recognize greatness when they see it. And Crawford isn't just chasing a win, he's chasing destiny.
Do you think you've got a prediction? Obviously, you think he's going to win. Do you think you'll stop him?
I gotta see it. My prediction is Terence will win. However, I gotta see it.
This is massive. Triple G linking with Crawford's camp is a nightmare for Canelo. Who knows him better than the man who dragged him through 3 brutal wars? Golovkin's insight is priceless. Timing, defensive habits, every vulnerability etched into memory. Crawford was already a master of adjustments, but now he's got a veteran voice pointing straight at Canelo's weak spots. The irony, Canelo sparring Boots might boost his confidence, but Crawford just gained the man who knows Canelo's soul. That's not sparring experience, it's lived combat. With Triple G feeding Crawford wisdom, Canelo's old tricks won't work. The edge has tilted sharply toward Bud.
He fought Janovic here in Vegas. Would you want that fight?
I would love to fight my boy Denzel. I believe, we got a little history, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Denzel, I don't know if you forgot about me, but, you said you was going to call me out after your last fight, you know what I'm saying? You fought. I didn't hear Troy Alvarez. I didn't hear any names.
And then Bomac doubled down with a ruthless statement. No safety nets, no fine print, no excuses. Crawford doesn't need rehydration clauses or built-in advantages. He wants opponents at their absolute best. That's what terrifies Canelo fans. Bud isn't fazed by size or power because he trusts pure skill, timing, and mentality. When Bomac says we're going to whoop his ass, it's not arrogance, it's conviction, forged from watching Crawford conquer every obstacle. Meanwhile, Canelo's resume is littered with catchweights, clauses, and whispers about testing, but this fight strips away the smoke screens. Man versus man, skill versus skill, and in that arena, Crawford's clean superiority shines. Canelo can't hide behind contracts this time.
We don't need no excuses to get this win.
All right, last one.
Yeah, just your prediction then for the fight.
Are we gonna whoop his ass?
Diego Pacheco bringing up Canelo's failed test shines a light on the cloud that never left him. Fans can spin it as a mistake, but history doesn't forget. Crawford's record is spotless, built on discipline, not shortcuts. That's the difference in mentality. Canelo fights with whispers of PEDs and built-in advantages, while Crawford represents purity of competition. Pacheco's unease echoes what many in boxing feel. They respect Canelo's skills but can't ignore the blemishes. And when the fight happens, those shadows won't vanish. Every shot Bud lands will remind the world who truly embodies greatness. Legacy isn't built on excuses or controversy. It's built on clean dominance, and Crawford stands untarnished.
I don't respect that testing positive for things like that, but who knows what they got going on down there. Hopefully it was a mistake or something, but...
Steven Edwards tells the truth. Any fighter can be hurt, even iron-chinned Canelo. And that's exactly Crawford's specialty, exposing vulnerabilities others can't reach. Bud doesn't just swing for knockouts, he dissects times and lands with precision that bypasses toughness. Yes, Canelo's chin has stood against heavy hitters, but he's never dealt with someone who mixes IQ, creativity, and cold timing like Crawford. This isn't about one bomb, it's about breaking rhythm, forcing mistakes, and turning confidence into panic. When seasoned trainers like Edwards admit Bud has the tools, the narrative shifts. People are realizing Canelo's chin won't save him. Against a genius game planner, durability isn't enough. That aura of invincibility, Crawford's already cracking it before the first bell.
I always said I like Crawford from the very beginning of the fight.
You think you can hurt him?
Yep, anybody could be hurt in a fight. Canelo got a great chin though, but anybody could be hurt on any given night. Don't ever think a guy can't be hurt, man.
This isn't just Crawford versus Canelo, it's legacy versus reputation. Crawford enters with the chance to etch his name as the era's greatest, proving that pure skill and adaptability conquer size, power, and politics. Canelo, meanwhile, drags the baggage of clauses, whispers, and failed tests. A Crawford win is a generational shift, the torch passing to a fighter who never needed shortcuts. A Canelo win saves face, but doubts about how much was earned versus engineered will never vanish. The real intrigue is mental. Bud is ice under fire, while Canelo has cracked against slick movers before. When the bell rings, fists won't just land, they'll tell the truth. Purity or controversy, greatness or survival, the choice is yours. Who are you backing?